Hello everyone. So we are talking about what do you say, different polity notes for prelims. I have shared my polity notes for prelims, or I'm sharing. I'm in the process of sharing my polity notes for prelims, and we are discussing it, right? So we'll continue the discussion. And in the last what do you say, lecture, we have talked about precedent rules and national emergency in detail. So now today's topic, what are the major things which we'll be covering or which we'll try to cover? So first of all, what we will try to do is we'll try to focus on citizenship. Why this particular area, this particular citizenship topic? Why? Because again, we don't like to read it. Even in Lakshmikant, the least read chapter is this, the citizenship. So we'll try to see certain important aspects which can be asked in exam related to citizenship, right? So first of all, these Article 5 to 8, they deal with citizenship. Article 5 to 8, they deal with citizenship. Now remember this, they do ask it, and I've seen it in various exams. So Article 5 to 8 deals with citizenship, or what do you say, state boundaries or state territories or what. So Article 5 to 8 deals with citizenship. Now, major thing which is very important here is what they're trying to tell you is Constitution under Article 5 to 8 only prescribed the class of persons. See, at that point of time, when this citizenship clause was inserted in Article 5 to 8, they only prescribed those class of persons to be the citizen of India who were, means they prescribed, what do you say, just let's reiterate or reread this line. They only prescribed the class of persons who can be citizens at the time of commencement of constitution. Yeah, that's it. So Article 5 to 8 doesn't tell about anything in the, what do you say, present citizenship context. For that, we enacted Citizenship Act 1955. So modes of acquiring citizenship after commencement of constitution was left to the parliament to legislate, and that's why parliament, what do you say, enacted Citizenship Act 1955. So Citizenship Act 1955 was enacted to talk about, or to give citizenship to, what do you say, to uh, give a, what do you say, description about modes of acquiring citizenship after commencement of the constitution. Now let's talk about certain important things which can be asked in exam. So under Article 8, now we know from 5 to 8, it deals with citizenship. Under Article 8 of the Constitution, a person who or any of whose parents or grandparents, not only applicable till parents, even parents and grandparents, was born in undivided India, but who is ordinarily residing outside India. So are you understanding what they're saying? They're saying a person who or any of whose parents or grandparents were born in undivided India, but who is currently residing outside India, he can become an Indian citizen through registration. So there are different ways of acquiring citizenship. So a person who is outside India but whose parents or grandparents were born in undivided India, he can acquire citizenship, right, through registration. Now, what are the things which are important? This is also important because they can tell you Article 5 to 8 deals with what, and you do know they talk about citizenship at the time of the commencement of the Constitution. For later purposes, Citizenship Act 1955 was enacted. So Article 5 to 8 deals with citizenship of whom? Persons who are domiciled in India. So these are the four classifications: person who are domiciled in India. The second scenario is persons who migrated from Pakistan. Persons who migrated from Pakistan. The second scenario is persons who migrated to Pakistan but later returned. So these are also included. These people are also included, or these people were also provided citizenship. And Article 5 to 8 also talks about them. And the fourth scenario is PIO, PIO, that is persons of Indian origin residing outside India. So they deal with the citizenship of these four categories: person domiciled in India, person migrated from Pakistan, person who migrated to Pakistan but later returned to India, and PIO, or person of Indian origin residing outside India. Now let's talk about certain more things. So these are the notes, right? So which I made. So again, Prevention of Corruption Amendment Act 2018 was enacted, and this was also very interesting. Prevention of Corruption Act 2018, because there were certain changes which were made from the earlier PCA Act. So what are the changes? First of all, it makes bribe giving a punishable offense. Fine enough. Now, because see, regarding this collusive and coercive corruption, I have talked in detail in my second ARC videos. So many people have seen it. You can also watch it. According to second ARC, after 1991, collusive corruption has increased in our country. After 1991, collusive corruption has increased and coercive corruption has reduced. So there are two forms of corruption. One is collusive, this one, and the second is coercive. So collusive means both are colluding with each other. Bribe giver and bribe taker. Coercive means you are forced to give the bribe. So after 1991, collusive corruption has increased, but coercive corruption has reduced. So what does this say? Prevention of Corruption Amendment Act 2018. They are making bribe giving a punishable offense. Apart from that, they are saying that collusive bribe will be given punishment up to 7 years in jail as well as fine. Now, what are the other provisions? Not very important. This Prevention of Corruption Amendment Act. This will be very handy for you Not very important from prelims point of view, but they sometimes in test series they do ask you questions on that. But yes, in mains it will help you a lot if you know this. And second, it do reach second ARC also. That will also help you a lot. Even in ethics and all those things, you can add these sanctions for prosecution. So what they're saying in sanctions for prosecution, see, again there are certain changes which has been made in what do you say, Prevention of Corruption Amendment Act 2018. So earlier, a new provision. What first of all, what was the earlier provision? And what is the new provision? So let's talk about the new provision. New provision is saying in the case of sanctions for prosecution, again, to know more about it, you can read the second ARC Ethics and Governance report. I have made videos on it. So that will help you understand what is sanction for prosecution, right? So again, first of all, let's not waste time. So new provision in PCA Act or Amendment Act 2018 is saying that government functionaries at all levels, see, all levels, including those who are retired, this is also interesting, can be prosecuted only with permission of competent authority. Earlier, this, what do you say, permission of competent authority was available only to officials at the level of joint secretary or above. Earlier, this was not applicable for everyone. Now they are saying now that government functionaries at all levels, they can only be prosecuted with permission of competent authority. Earlier, this was only available to officials of joint secretary or above. Right now, what is the third provision of Prevention of Corruption Amendment Act 2018? So they are saying definition of, now they have narrowed the definition of criminal misconduct. So they have narrowed the definition of criminal misconduct to only two offenses. So to only two offenses, they have narrowed it down. And what are those two offenses? Misappropriation of interested property. This is the first one, misappropriation of interested property, and amassing assets disproportionate to known sources of income. These are the only two criminal misconduct scenarios. Others have been removed. So this is the major controversial aspects of the act also. Fine. Now let's talk about something else. Now, Rajya Sabha. Again, see, understand one thing. Generally, the mode of election of Rajya Sabha and president, we generally get confused regarding. So, first of all, let's talk about Rajya Sabha. Then we'll try to see how it is different from the election of president. The members of not only Rajya Sabha, members of Rajya Sabha, how they are elected. So, first of all, members are elected by elected members of state legislative assemblies, along with state legislative assembly, even Delhi and Puducherry, the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry, the elected members of their legislative assemblies can also elect the members of Rajya Sabha, right? Now, again, the thing is, if we compare it with president, in the case of president, all these members, these elected members of state legislative, and remember this word, elected members, there will be certain nominated members also. So these nominated members don't elect the members of Rajya Sabha, right? These nominated members don't elect the members of Rajya Sabha. Similar in the case of president also, these nominated members of state legislative assembly, including Delhi, Puducherry, they don't participate in the election of president. Only the elected members of state legislative assembly, including Delhi and Puducherry, plus the elected members of both houses of parliament participate in the election of president. So there is one addition, elected members of both houses of parliament. In the case of Rajya Sabha, only elected members of state legislative assembly, including Delhi and Puducherry. Here there is an open ballot. If you talk about technically, there is no open ballot as such in Rajya Sabha. It's both open plus closed ballot or secret ballot. How? Again, we won't go into that technicality. The only thing is open ballot, how it is open ballot, Rajya Sabha. But again, in exam, you have to write, or if they ask you a question, whether it is an open ballot or secret ballot, you will say open ballot, Rajya Sabha. Why? Because what happens now, when the members are selecting Rajya Sabha members, a whip is issued. Whip is issued, and then accordingly you have to cast your votes. Accordingly, these legislative assembly members have to cast their vote, and they show their vote to the whip. They show their vote to the whip. They show there, but they don't show it to any other member. So in that way, it is secret. But since they're showing their vote to the whip, so that's why it is open. So that's why it is an open ballot. This is very important. Generally, we don't know about this. We generally feel that it should be secret ballot. No, in the case of Rajya Sabha, it is an open ballot. Now, retired members or retiring members, they are eligible for re-nomination any number of times in the case of Rajya Sabha. So retiring members are eligible for re-nomination any number of times. Right. So we'll keep until here only. In the next session or in the next video, we'll try to talk about transformative constitutionalism, democracy index, press freedom index, FR and DPSP. What did Granville Austin talked about these? So these are the important things. We'll try to see that. So that's it. Thank you. And I will see you people in the next session.